Hey, what's going on, everybody? This Afro Think Tank. You know how I said I'd be trying to stay off TikTok? You know, because, you go down these rabbit holes and 2, 3 hours done pass. You done seen some shit that you didn't think you was ever going to see, right? And, I done seen some shit, and I got to share it with you guys. And I don't even know if I'm going to be able to monetize this video. That's the God's honest truth about it, because shit's pretty fucked up. Be honest. And you know what? This is something that Europeans have in common. I'm trying to be as nice because I know there's some white folks watching. But this is some shit y'all gotta do. This is some shit y'all gotta deal with, because nobody wants to deal with this type of shit. Like, legitimately. And I found out listen, you ain't supposed to make words up for this type of shit. All right? And the fact that you Europeans, all right, because I ended up on white TikTok. That's the fucking problem. All right, listen. White TikTok is very entertaining. All right, listen, I'm gonna make a whole separate video about the shit that we do like about you white folk. All right, I'm gonna make a video because I know you guys are confused. All right, like yeah, and there's some shit we like about y'all. I'm gonna make a video about, but this shit right here, this is wrong. Okay, I got a history of this, so it's not like I'm being mean. I'm taking shots. I got so many jokes. But none of them are appropriate. And none of them need to be had, because that's how anybody watching this video is going to be disgusting. But it's educational. This is educational. You're going to learn something. I promise you, by the time you finish watching this video, you will, in fact, have learned something. Every one of my videos, you learn something. Even if I entertain you, you're going to learn some shit today. All right? And it all going to start to make sense. All right? It's all going, listen, I want you to think about everything they be saying. White folks, think about the shit you be saying. Y'all don't do. All right? And I understand it's cold in Europe and hypothermia and all that shit. Look, I know what it's like to sleep outside in the cold, in the snow. All right? I know. Last thing you want to do is splash any water on you or anything like that. So I understand that. Like, that makes sense. But some shit don't make sense. All right? Because them Eskimos don't do what y'all do. All right, so you guys ain't the only cold weather human beings, adapted human beings. All right, you got them damn Eskimos, and you got those other Asians up there, and that whole group of people. There's a whole group of people of the snow. All right, they live up there, and they didn't have the same. They had the same scarce resources as you white folk. Are you European savage barbarian? Them Europeans up there in in the cold weather, they with the reindeer and all that. I mean, the Asians with the reindeer. Those people who didn't live up there, who've been in the same scarcity as you guys. Listen, they didn't do the shit y'all did. All right? They pretty peaceful. All right, so I don't know what's wrong with you daggone peninsula Asians. All right, with the round eyes, we call Anglo-Saxon barbarians. But this part of history, y'all gonna have to like completely eliminate. There's certain things within everybody's history that like we should never practice, never do. But this shit right here, we're gonna have to talk about this. I need you white folks to contribute to the comment section. Explain yourself. Don't tell me, are you one of these or are you one of the other ones? I'm giving y'all an out. All right, I'm giving y'all an out. Okay, y'all gotta exit. All right, exit 1B, exit 1A. That's it. After that shit, your ass is on that highway. All right, you're going to deal with that traffic. All right, anyway, y'all tell me what y'all think about this shit in the comment section. I had to just talk for at least 4 minutes and not say what the real video is about, because I'm sure if I would have indicated it, they would immediate demonetization. All right, so anyway, without further ado, I hope you are not eating anything. It's Afro Think Tank. Learn something, teach something. Please tell me what you think about this in the comment section. I'm out.
White people have never known how to poop. and history proves it.
White explorer actually wrote about this in 1818. Now, in 1818, explorer Thomas Bowditch goes to the Asante Kingdom. Now, the Asante Kingdom was located in what we now know as Ghana. He gets to the Asante Kingdom, sees flushable toilets, two-story homes with flushable toilets on the second story, half baths, and a waste and sanitation system that literally blew his mind. He wrote like 2-3 pages on this. That's how surprised he was. Not by the fact that it was Africans doing this. That was part of it, but the fact that it even existed in the first place. Now, it wasn't until like the 1850s and 60s when Europeans started using flushable toilets regularly and started having a regular waste and sanitation system. And now this book is a little weird too, and I might talk about this in another video, but this book was actually written under the guise of being an informational book about the Asante Kingdom, but it was actually a playbook on how to colonize the Asante Kingdom. But let's get started and learn something. While he was pretending to be nice with the Asante Kingdom to get all of this information to be able to take over the Asante Kingdom, he also collected all of these items. He has the largest and oldest collection of Asante items from that time. Look at this. Look at all this stuff. Look at them sandals from 1817. He was so perplexed about this whole waste management system that he even drew pictures in detail and painted them. I'll show some of the pictures while I read this mess that he wrote. What surprised me most, and is not the least of the many circumstances deciding their great superiority over the generality of Negroes, was the discovery that every house had its cloaca, toilet, besides the common ones for the lower orders without the town, the public restrooms. They were generally situated under a small archway in the most retired angle of the building, the guest bathroom, but not unfrequently upstairs, the upstairs bathroom, within a separate room like a small closet, where the large hollow pillar also assists to support the upper story, the two-story house. The holes were of a small circumference, the pipes, but dug to a surprising depth, and boiling water is daily poured down, which effectually prevents the least offense. The rubbish and offal of each house was burnt every morning, waste management, at the back of the street, and they were as nice and cleanly in their dwellings as in their persons. Thomas Bowditch's book provided one of the earliest, if not the earliest, account of how African people were living before European colonization for centuries. Now, you want to know what happened to him? Less than 5 years after he lied to the Asante people, lied to the Asante king, pretended that they were going to do trade, he passed that information on to his superiors, who used that information to take over the Asante kingdom. He thought that he provided that information that would give him leverage for better pay and a better position. They said no. He decided that he was going to move to Africa and get his fortunes and terrorize the African people. That same year that he decided to move to Africa, he died from a fever, leaving his wife and children destitute. Hope you learned something new.
People have never known how to poop, and history proves it. They built entire cities without proper waste management, filling their streets with excrement.
As shady as what he's saying may sound, it's actually very historically accurate. A lot of people do not realize that most of our modern sewer and sanitation systems come from ancient African kingdoms. There's a lot of archaeological evidence that shows that Africans have had very advanced cleaning and sanitation systems for a very long time. Places like ancient Egypt, the Great Kingdom of Zimbabwe, the Asante Kingdom, the Swahili Coast, and many more have been using these very advanced practices for centuries. Archaeologists found stone-lined grains that were built into the passageways and walls of kingdoms like Great Zimbabwe, which were used between the 11th and 15th century. This meant that kingdoms like Great Zimbabwe were not only redirecting and storing this water, they were able to get that water and use it for their sewage systems. It meant they had access to things like flushable toilets, as we may call it. While the modern day design may be different, it still follows the same concept and principle. There's also a lot of archaeological evidence that shows us that people of some elite circles were able to redirect that water and use it to take modern day showers and baths. While they may not look exactly like our modern day concept, they were very similar in their principle. And it shows us that people in Great Zimbabwe have been taking showers as early as the 9th century. So while I was researching for this topic, I found something that was kind of crazy. Did you know Europeans would often use chamber pots? That in itself isn't that bad, but they would often get the excrement from those chamber pots and dump it on the street. Like it would just be laying there on the street. And this wasn't even something that was only done by peasants or people of the lower class. Like everybody was doing it, even people in royal positions, nobles. Like this was a widespread practice, and it ended around the 18th century. Open sewage, bad smells, and contaminated water were the norm in Europe until at least very late in the 19th century, which is insane. A lot of people do not know that most of the diseases that plague Africa today came from Europe. Most of them originate from Europe. The cholera, typhoid, dysentery. Most of these are European diseases that came because of this type of living conditions. This isn't even adding the STIs. So I was inspired by another creator who made a similar video about the type of sanitation that existed in Africa and Europe, and they had to hop onto it. But it really got me thinking on how, at its core, white supremacy is really just a projection. Almost every single thing that it reflects on other people are things that it's done itself. Because for centuries, you constantly hear white supremacy framing Africans as being dirty. If you're dark-skinned, you're dirty, you're not clean. All of these things are projections of things that they themselves have been doing. It itself has been manufacturing. And it's always going to be in a state of projecting its insecurities onto others.
白人の人種別属者あったらいつも目立つこと分かれる。白人の人種別属者はいつもうんこはお尻でつけてる。あ、そう。白人はお尻を掃除しない。アジア人は掃除する。アラビア人は掃除する。だから、白人の人種別属者は視点は、どうでもいいと思うね。さあ、人種別終わって。
I am the proud owner of the world's weirdest chia pet. I covered my chia pot in seeds and watered it 3 times a day for 7 days.
Why don't you just poop outside?
An overgrown throne, my sprout house. And it's time to see what it feels like. Let's just take it for a spin. Oh my god. Wow, this is so odd and pleasing. It's just a little moist, but in a satisfying way. It is so comfortably mushy and delightful. And it smells so fresh. Here's how it held up to my sitting. Follow me if you want to see what happens when I
I
stop
don't
water.
want to know.
Tell me what.
Good.
So first of all, whites aren't spelled with a Y. And I don't represent all white people because all white people aren't any people. I don't know them bitches down the street. So there was this TikTok from this woman, and she said all white people defecate in the shower. Oh, I'm so proud of her for looking up that word. Defecate means shit, and no, white people don't shit in the shower. I've never shit in the shower. All my people never shit in the shower. I never knew anybody who shit in the shower. So I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And girl, have tea with me.
You ever take a poop, not wipe, get in the shower, and just clean out that way?
Did it this morning.
Holy shit!
I took the shit, but we have a shower where we've got the wall things, the wall sprayers.
Sure.
So one is right at my asshole.
That's like a bidet.
Exactly. That is a bidet. That's why I built the fucking shower that way. We redid the bathroom. I said, I want the ones that are I can clean my nuts and my asshole.
I told that fucking plumber.
I told that
fucking nozzle in my
Dude, I have a bidet. I spread it open. I clean it out. It's delicious.
I hate getting the urge to shit while you're taking a shower. And it's just like, fuck, like I need to shit right now. I ain't going to shit in the shower. That's gross. Not hitting a waffle stomp. Not into any of that. So you got to get out the shower and you're soaking wet and you got to get on the toilet. Now, I had a little dilemma today where I was like, do I have enough time to put toilet paper around the bowl so I don't sit on it while soaking wet and I slip? Because I've done that before where I like get out the shower soaking wet, I need to shit, get on the toilet soaking wet, whoop, slipped off that motherfucker, never again. So I'm like squeezing the cheeks, clenching. You know, I don't want to leak out anything because I knew it was going to be a liquidy one. I didn't want to leak anything out. So I had to put toilet paper on the damn seat and it kept falling off because it's flimsy. And I'm like, holy fuck, holy fuck, holy fuck. And finally I put the toilet paper down and I shit. And it was just like a moment because it was just like, I hate, because then it's just like, damn, like I'm trying to get clean in the shower and I got to shit. It ruins my vibe, ruins my day, horrible experience. But luckily you can get back in the shower and clean out your asshole. So it kind of works.
I was talking to a buddy and I used the word waffle stomp in a sentence and he had no idea what a waffle stomp was. So here's a little tutorial for the rest of you guys. So I'm not trying to state the obvious, but this is a waffle.
And this is what the drain to my shower looks like. Do you notice any similarities? Next, we're going to take a look at it installed. Now, we all know people that have pooped in the shower, and that's why we're on location here in my shower. So this is what it might look like when someone actually drops some ass batter on the simulated waffle maker. The stomping comes into play when they take their foot and press it through the batter so it comes out on the other end, actually looking like a waffle. This is done in the shower, obviously, because you're near a water source. And if you're asking yourself who does this, sometimes it's large people, sometimes it's pregnant people, sometimes it's people that are drunk and they have alcohol fecal syndrome. So, now that you know what a waffle stomp is, send this to the one person in your contacts that you think has actually done this. And if you received it from somebody, well, guess what?
I don't even really know how to explain what I'm about to tell y'all because I didn't know this shit existed on this planet. But I had a service call to go fix a woman's shower. It was not draining. And I get out there and I'm like, ma'am, have you put anything down the shower drain? that maybe shouldn't have been there. And she says, no, just the normal stuff. And we start taking the drain apart. We start putting the snake down there. We start pulling stuff up. And it's very weird. We've got square-shaped poo. Square-shaped poo. Now, it's the same size as the grate that's on there. Now, some of it's smeared and some of it ain't square-shaped. But you could tell it came from a square, right? And I asked her, I said, ma'am, do you have any children that would have maybe pooped in the shower? And she says, no, I shit in the shower. But your toilet is right there. I mean, I know you got a big ass and all, but your toilet is right there. And she says, no, you shit in the shower. And I'm like, how do you get the poop in the toilet? You pick it up? Because I ain't picking up shit. And she says, no, I waffle stomp it down the drain. For everybody out there, you shit in the toilet, you shower in the shower, all right? I don't know how to make it more clear. This woman, with her bare ass feet, shits in the shower and then waffle stomps it down the drain. Better than that, I realize she probably can't hit the target all the time, which means she got to soccer kick that shit around the toilet until it gets to the place where you waffle stomp. I don't even understand the logistics of waffle, and then you got the shit on your foot, which I guess it's a good thing because you're in the shower. Like, could that lead to foot fungus? Like, I'm not a podiatrist or whatever, whoever deals with foot problems, right? But please tell me that all of us can agree you do not shit in the shower, waffle stomp it down the drain. Get any comments and let me know, all right? Because I need to, understand that this is not a predominant thing. Do not do that. The drain pipe out of your shower is not the same size as the drain pipe out of your commode, okay? First off, nothing coming out of your body should clog up a 2-inch pipe, all right? Let's just throw that out there. It's definitely not gonna clog up a 4-inch pipe, or you're something special. Do not shit in the shower and toss it in the commode. That's nasty. You cook with that hand. You hold your children's hand with that hand. Also, do not teach your children to shit in the shower. That's it. Buy something from the merch store. I need counseling.
Do you guys know what a waffle stomp is? Because I just learned what it is.
It has nothing to do with Eggos.
No, it was a funny word, and we learned it at the Comedy Mothership secret show. Or not the secret show, the Bottom of the Barrel.
Yeah.
Waffle stomping.
Yes.
This is new SAT word of the week. So a waffle stomp is when you need to use the restroom. No, a waffle stomp is when you poop in the shower and you don't know where to put it. You don't know where it goes. It's got to go down somewhere, so you got to stomp it down the drain.
Yeah, and it's called a waffle stomp because, shower drains sometimes look like
waffles.
Grids, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. I'm not getting in any. I have no plans to get into any waffle stomps this week, but.
Poop in your showers. I have a suggestion for you. You know, when you just stomp poop and it won't go down your drain, what are you to do? You get your shower head. This shower head specifically has an on and off button, and it's got 3 modes to wash it down the drain. This is gonna push it down the drain, and you don't have to worry no more. So there's 3 settings on this. Do you poop in your showers?
White supremacists say Europeans colonized the world because they were so advanced. A huge part of colonial success came from the diseases they carried. Diseases caused by living in the most unhygienic conditions on Earth. For centuries, most Europeans didn't bathe. Cities dumped human waste in the streets. People drank water from the same rivers they used as sewers. Livestock lived inside people's homes that brought rodents. And they lacked basic medical knowledge that the rest of the world developed. All of this created deadly diseases in Europe. Smallpox, influenza, measles, and the bubonic plague. And they killed millions in Europe. But because Europeans lived with these diseases for generations, they developed partial immunity. So when European explorers reached the Americas, the Caribbean, and Africa, they brought these diseases. Entire nations were wiped out before even seeing a European. Europe didn't conquer because it was superior. They conquered because of their disgusting lifestyle. That gave them immunity indigenous people never needed. Their greatest weapon was disease, and they didn't even know they were carrying it.
Part of the rituals of being a Muslim is you're cleaning your hands and your feet and your ears and your nose. There's a cleansing daily. Back then, nobody's showering every day. If a disease comes through and it comes from contact, you get sick and the Muslims don't. So we would later learn that many of the plagues were from flea. the flea would get infected and would bite you, and you'd get the plague. Plagues have killed more than wars. Now watch what happens. Where did the fleas come from? We would later learn they came from rats and mice that were infected with the plague. If your house had rats or mice, and mice were common, look at old Renaissance paintings. There's mice in the corners of the paintings. If you owned a cat, you didn't have mice. Now wait a minute. Who owned cats? Well, there are many women that own cats.
The women didn't get the plague, and they were therefore sorcerers.
They were witches.
Damn.
Welcome to medieval London, where human sewage was dumped straight into the streets every night. Every morning, people walked right through it, their boots rotting in the filth. No sewers, no hygiene, just this. This is how Europeans actually lived only a few hundred years ago.
Did you know that in the Middle Ages, people in Europe threw their fecal waste directly into the street without any kind of sewage system? Cities did not have adequate infrastructure for waste management, so they simply threw excrement out of the windows. This, along with poor hygiene, caused diseases and bad smells, but people did not know that this was one of the main causes of epidemics. As for the use of urine, it seems strange, but at that time it was common to use it for oral hygiene. Urine, which contained ammonia, was considered a natural cleaning agent. People used it to whiten their teeth and combat oral problems, since they did not know of more effective alternatives. Although these practices seem unthinkable to us today, at the time they reflected the lack of knowledge about health and hygiene that existed at that time. These hygiene practices, so strange today, were a reflection of an era with little progress in knowledge about health and medicine. People lived in precarious conditions, and epidemics, poor hygiene, and ignorance of the causes of diseases were a constant.
The dirty history of medieval Europe. The Middle Ages, often romanticized in popular culture. However, it was also a period characterized by unsanitary conditions, disease, and a lack of basic hygiene. Lack of personal hygiene. While bathing was not entirely uncommon, especially among the wealthy, personal hygiene standards were generally low. People often did not wash their hands regularly, and public spaces were frequently filthy. Open sewers and trash. Cities were often filled with open sewers and piles of garbage, leading to the spread of diseases like the Black Death. Lack of clean water. Access to clean drinking water was limited, and many people relied on contaminated sources. Animal waste. Animals often roamed freely in cities, leaving behind waste that contributed to the spread of diseases. Unsanitary food. Preparation. Food was often prepared in unsanitary conditions, leading to foodborne illnesses. Public defecation. In some areas, people would simply defecate in the streets or rivers. Lack of medical knowledge. Medieval medicine was often based on superstition and folk remedies, and treatments could be harmful or ineffective. Corpse medicine. Doctors used human remains in treatments, believing that they had healing properties. Follow history streams to discover more about the past.
You know, when I was young, I used to think white people's poop were different. I used to think, I mean, they're so white, how can their poop be the same as us? Like, it was out of my imagination that their poop also could be brown.
Free Sudan! Boycott diamonds and gold! Free Sudan! Boycott diamonds and gold! We most definitely cannot forget about the people of Sudan!
Thanks for watching Afro Think Tank. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And follow me on Substack and Patreon for more content. Remember, it's Pan-Africanism or nothing.